Hello and welcome to our 11th session, and in this session we are going to continue implementing our logic. Let us continue from where we left from the last class. So I will open the Verge3D puzzle. Now here, since we are working on Apple system, one thing you should remember is in Apple or iOS I cannot load GLTF format. I can only load USDZ format. So for that reason, in this check AR mode, you have one option. If you have Apple USDZ, do. You have one option here. I will come to my HTML tag here, and in this you have set property. I will select this set property, and in Apple USDZ, I have to set the property of href. And I am going to set this href property. Coming back to scenes here, you have one option here, export to USDZ. I will click on this, drag it and attach it. And which component has to be exported to USDZ? It is the SUDI mesh. So I will type here, SUDI mesh has to be exported as USDZ. I am going to do this for this enter AR button. So when the user enter AR button is clicked, I will duplicate this and I am going to set one more property, and the second property I am going to rel, and I am going to set this rel. I will delete this. I will come to text and select the text block. I will drag it and put it. I am going to set this value to AR. So rel will be equal to AR, and then for which element? It is for the same enter AR button. Then I am going to set one more property. I will duplicate it. I will put it down, and this time the property I am going to choose is download. Instead of SUDI mesh, I am going to call this as SUDI underscore USDZ for element enter AR button. Okay. So I have to add these three lines if I am using an Apple device. Okay. I have to first export my mesh to USDZ. I have to set my rel value to AR, and then I have to download this. When enter AR button is clicked, this will be export to USDZ, this will be downloaded as sudi.usdz. And finally here, when the user clicks on this invisible plane button, so for this I will come to event and I am going to select this when click down here, and in this the component they are going to click is this indicator invisible plane. So when the user clicks on this indicator invisible plane, then immediately I will come to object and I will come to show, and this should show me which one? This SUDI group. I will duplicate it. So now my mesh or my avatar should be visible, and after this I have to set, I will come back to object, and you have one option here, set position. So I will select this set, I will put it down, and I am going to set the position of which component? SUDI underscore armature. I am going to select this, and I am going to set its position similar to this invisible plane. I will duplicate this AR hit point here. I will drag it, and AR hit point X will be set to X. I will duplicate this, and AR hit point Y will be set to Y, and I will duplicate this, and AR hit point Z will be set to Z. As soon as you click on the invisible plane, SUDI group is shown and its position is set to your AR hit point, and then I have to set one more property here. and that is the object direction. So, for that I will come back to object and you have one set object direction. I am going to select this, and which object direction we are talking about? It is Sudhi armature. So, my character, so if I click on the settings here, I am going to click on use vector, then all the three values will be represented by one puzzle, and here I am coming back to object and you have one property here, get. I will click on get, I will drag it and I am going to get the position from my camera, that is get camera position x, y, z, and I will enable point and lockup, both will be enabled. So, with these things done, I will close this. So, now let us check it once. I am now going to save this and then I am going to execute it. If required, refresh it once. Okay, it is working fine. I will come back to app manager and I will again upload it. Okay, now the upload is done. I will come back to my tab here and I am going to copy this link and I am again going to launch my WebXR and I am going to paste this and I am going to click on paste and go. And now I have the enter AR button, and as soon as I click on this, AR session has started, and when I move it, I am seeing the plane, and when I click on the plane, see, you can see the object has appeared. See, he is dancing. See, he is dancing.
Hello,
and when I click on him, see, he is saying hello Josephine. But only thing is, when the object is appearing, you are seeing this 100%, you are seeing that you are seeing all the objects are around. So, I have to tweak this a little. And second thing is, once I enter AR, this AR button has to disappear. And the other most important issue that we are facing here is the size. Although we have scaled it down, in augmented reality, we are seeing this model in a huge size. Apple, you are at least seeing the model, but in Android devices, I can show you, you won't even see the model because you will be sitting, the camera will be sitting inside the model. We have to work out on a different turnaround now. So, for that, what I will do is, I will come back to my Verge3D app manager here and I will first open my Blender file and I will open this sudhiinar.blend. So, in the previous session, we scaled it down using this empty. If you remember, we had given it the name as Sudhi_avatar. Now, what I have to do is, I cannot use an empty in AR. It is not working. So, I will press del and I will delete it off. And once I delete it, you can see all my models are scaled to a very large size. Now, the very first thing is, I am going to select this Sudhi armature and I want this to scale down. Now, here the procedure is, I cannot directly scale it down. I have to select this Sudhi_armature and after I select it, I will come into the edit mode. And if required, I will open this and you have I have opened in Sudhi armature, I have the animation, then below you have another Sudhi armature and inside this, you can see one hips and neutral bone. See, if this structure depends upon from where you have taken the model. Right now, in Union Avatars, it is going to create one neutral bone. See, this neutral bone is this one. So, in edit mode, with the armature selected, if I come over here and select these bones, press X and delete these 3 bones. So, I will delete off this neutral bone, so that apart from hips, you doesn't have any other bone. So, once you delete it, come back to object mode and once test that the animation is working fine. Okay, it is working. The animation has not been disturbed by deleting those bones. Then what I have to do is, I will come back to frame number 0 and I will next select this Sudhi armature. Then I will press Shift plus S and here you have one option, cursor to selected. So if I select this cursor to selected, so my cursor will shift to the anchor point of my character. So first I have added this to the anchor point here. After this, I will now come into edit mode and press Shift A. If I press Shift plus A new bone has been added, and in the structure you can come and see here below hips a new bone has been added as bone. I will select this, double click it, and I am going to rename this as root. So I have created one root bone, and after this, so I will select the root bone, with shift press select the hip bone, come over in this area, and now I will press Ctrl P and choose the option keep offset. So when I click on keep offset and when I make it a parent, see, you can see inside the root you have hips now. Okay, so once you do this, now from edit mode again come back to object mode, and once check the animation is running fine, I will come back to frame number 0, and now I will come to the pose mode, and in pose mode now I will select this root. I will scale it down, and here approximately I will scale it down by 0.12, and then I will just zoom it in, and now I will come back to my object mode. Now I will play the animation and check it. See, the animation is working fine, and I will press 0 and come into the camera view, and I will check that the model sits clearly now within our camera view. The next part that we are going to do is, I also have to now adjust the other components. So if I select drag move, if I press 7 and come on the top view, see, it is very big. I have to scale it down. Before scaling it down, I will go to object, set origin, and I will choose its origin to set to geometry, so that it is exactly at the center. Then I will press Shift S, and I am going to move the selection to the cursor. So it will move to the cursor point. The cursor point we have already marked to the anchor point of our character armature. So I have marked it there, and then I will press the scale button in top view and scale it down until, see, I will press scale and I will scale it down till this touches just the outline of our marker, invisible plane. And after I scale it, I will press Ctrl A and I will click on apply all transform. So now position will be 0, rotation will be 0, and scale will be 1. Okay, so we have set our drag move. Then I will select drag rotate, and even in this case, first go to object, set origin, origin to geometry, then press Shift S and move the selection to cursor, and after this, now even this you scale it down. I will scale it down so that it just comes inside this marker like this. Okay, I will scale it down to this level, press Ctrl A and use apply all transforms. I have applied all the transform. Now the third part is, I have to adjust my scale. Now the scale, what has happened is, if I come to front view, see, this scale is present somewhere to the top. See, it has gone out somewhere here. So first thing is, I will press G, Z and move it down. And second thing is, even here, I will go to object, set origin, origin to geometry. Then I will press Shift S and I am going to move the selection to cursor. So now this will come to the center here. Now I will press S and scale it down. See, I will scale it down approximately to around 0.06 or 0.05. I will scale it. Okay. And after scaling this, I will then press G and move it to the top, so that this is GZ, it is just above the head like this, okay. And then press Ctrl A, all transforms. And now one last thing that I have to adjust here is, see this spotlight also is somewhere misaligned. See, it is somewhere here, okay. I have to move it down and I have to adjust it correctly. What you can now do is you select the spotlight and delete it, okay. And then I will come over here to the scene collection, main scene collection, and then I will come back here to file, append, and you come back to your downloaded template file. In this Blender AR resources, there was template.blend. Select this file, come to here object, select the spot and click append. Now you can see the spotlight has been added here. So I will just zoom it up and see it. Now I will render the image and check it. Okay, this is appearing fine. Now only thing here I have to do is selecting the spotlight. I will come into spotlight data and I will set its intensity to 150, and then I will render the image and check it. So this is appearing fine, okay. So now I will save this. I want this spot now. Coming to this layer view, I will press M and move it inside the Sudhi group, and then inside the Sudhi group select this spot, then Control press on the Sudhi armature. So Sudhi armature became the active selection. Then bring the mouse over the 3D area, press Control P and choose object, keep transform, so that now the spotlight is a child of the Sudhi armature. With these changes done, I will go to file, choose save, and then I will go to export and I will export Verge3D GLTF. I will export this Sudhi in AR.gltf file, and once it is exported, I will come back to Verge3D, come to my puzzle view and check it. Okay, this is appearing fine. Only thing is this area, see, you can see you are, because of the spot area you are seeing this. What I will do is, for that I will come back here inside, and in spot I will select spot, come to light data and I will set its size to 45. Okay, I will make the radius 45, save it. Now again go to file, export Verge3D GLTF, Sudhi in AR.gltf, I will export it. Then I will come back here, refresh this and see the difference. Okay, this has moved a little better. With these changes done, we had this entry AR button was visible. I want to hide it in AR. So for that, what we have to do is, this is an HTML element. So I have to come into HTML, and here you have one option here, set style. Select this set style, drag it below this if misdo, and in style I am going to select display. Now using HTML style, I am going to set the display to none for this enter AR button. I will copy this and I will paste it. So now what happens is, as soon as you enter the AR view, this enter AR button will be hidden. Come here and save it. Now after this, I also have to hide my drag, move, drag, scale, those things I have to hide it. For that, see, already in main, if you come here, we had, as soon as this animation started, we had added this hide and this create list. Now duplicate this create list, select this and press Ctrl X to cut it. Now come to AR VR, and now here when this indicator invisible plane is clicked, here I will paste it, and first I will come to object and I will add a hide puzzle here, and for this hide puzzle here I will drag this create list and attach it here. Here only in this list I doesn't need this prompt move around. I will delete it, and also I will come in this list and remove of one item, because we have removed one item. Then I will drag this scale percentage and put it to the top, and I will then click this and hide it. Now I will come here, save this and then execute it, and then come back to Verge3D Manager and click on the upload button. Wait till this gets uploaded. Now once the upload has been done, now coming back into my Apple iPad Pro, now here I am going to select my link, copy the link, and because it is iPad, in Android you can click directly. In iPad I have to come to this WebXR viewer, click here and paste it, and click on paste and go. So now you are seeing the character. I will press the enter AR button, so it is showing move around, and then as soon as it identifies the plane, I will just click on this and you can see the character is now visible, and you can see only the character now, and all that rotate, move and scale items are totally hidden. But now the only issue we have is, I want this indicator, this invisible plane or the marker indicator group also hide once the character comes in. And second thing is, I want to add a control so that the user can scale the object, rotate it or move it and place it, and this part we are going to actually implement it in our next session.